औज़ुबिल्लाहि मिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम मोअज़्ज़ज़ सामीन अस्सलामु अलैकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू क्रिमिनल लॉ के साथ प्रोग्राम के साथ मैं हूं मोहम्मद शबीर मुगल और आज जो शख्सियत हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं खान सॉलिसिटर्स के मैन शख्सियत हैं और अमजद हुसैन जो कि न सिर्फ सॉलिसिटर हैं बल्कि माशाल्लाह ये एडवोकेट हैं जो कि डायरेक्टर हैं खान सॉलिसिटर्स के आज वो हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं और ख़ास तौर पे आज जो क्रिमिनल लॉ के हवाले से बातचीत की जाएगी लेकिन उसमें ख़ास तौर पे जो सर्च एंड स्टॉप एंड सर्च होता है उसके बारे में बात की जाएगी या घरों को सर्च किया जाता है उसके बारे में बात की जाएगी तो मैं खुशामदीद कहता हूं अस्सलाम वालेकुम अमजद खान साहब
वालेकुम अस्सलाम
how are you
I'm fine thank you
nice to have you once again in the studio
thank you for having us
mashallah you know the past over a month now mashallah we having colleagues of Khan solicitors coming and giving advice to our listeners and today yourself came and I hope all those listeners will benefit from your advice and information inshallah today as I just said to the our listeners that we are going to talk about criminal laws and particularly search it could be stop and search or it could be house search and how do you see as a lawyer to this kind of situation?
Okay. The topic that we're really going to discuss today is really the police's powers to enter premises,
right,
whether they're residential premises or whether they're business premises, to enter those premises and search the premises for as part of a criminal investigation.
Right,
there's a very set procedure that they have to go through, and they've got to comply with a lot of requirements that have been set down by the government and by the statute in order for them to have lawful entry onto premises.
Right, okay.
I'm going to first of all deal with the routine sort of searches that take place at home addresses, which are ordinarily residential premises. In order for the police to enter your home address, they have to have a valid warrant. And now there's three sort of different guises under which they can enter your premises. The first one is where they apply to a court, a judge in a magistrate court, to enter your premises and to search the premises for evidence that they think is relevant or as part of an investigation. Right. This ordinarily happens before an arrest takes place, so maybe about a week or so before the officers are going to effect an arrest. They'll go to the magistrate's court, and there's a very strict criteria that they've got to satisfy, because these applications are occasions where the other side aren't present to argue their case. So it's just the police officer going and telling a magistrate to say, look, we believe these people are involved in these criminal offences, right, and we need to have access to those premises. We need to search those premises because we think that if we search those premises, we're likely to find relevant and substantial relevant evidence to the investigation, therefore allowing them entry onto the premises. The officers, when they make that application, they have a duty to tell the truth and to inform the magistrates of both sides of the argument. The magistrates then are entitled to ask some questions about the investigation, and if they're satisfied that the warrant is necessary to enter, then they will grant that warrant to enter the premises. Okay.
Right, okay. So the first bit is to get the warrant.
Yeah.
And that is to have going into the property, any property, house property or business property, but they have to have a valid warrant
A valid warrant that's given by a magistrate. If the warrant that's called that's authorised under Section 8 of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act. Everything that the police do is governed by the Police and Criminal Evidence Act. All their powers are granted by that specific act, and it's under that act that they make the application to a court to be granted the power to enter their premises, because an individual's premises is their personal and private property, and nobody can enter. Anybody entering on those premises without lawful authority enters as a trespasser, so they're not entitled to enter unless they have this power. So ordinarily what happens is, if you some of your listeners will be aware, if the police attend, the first thing that they say is that, well, we want to enter because here's a warrant, we've got the power to enter, and this is what gives us the power to enter your premises.
True.
Without that warrant, they can't enter the premises.
Right. Okay. So what is the next step police do? If they have a warrant,
So
they are allowed to go in.
Yeah, they have the power. You can't, if they have that valid warrant, which has been issued by the magistrate, then that gives them the power to enter into the premises and to search the premises. If there is somebody present at the home address, they can be present during the course of that search, unless the officers are of the view that their presence is going to interfere with the search. Then they can ask them to leave the premises. But ordinarily, individuals do have rights to remain at the premises and to observe whilst the search is being carried out. Like I said, the first thing is that the officers must show you the power under which they're entering the premises, give you a copy of the warrant that's been issued, and then as they carry out the search, they're only entitled to search for the purpose that's been granted on the warrant. So the warrant will say, for argument's sake, that if they suspect somebody's involved in drugs, it will be relating to drugs paraphernalia, money or scales and these sort of things. They can't just start going through other areas of the house which don't contain that sort of material, or start seizing irrelevant paperwork which isn't relevant to that offence that they're investigating at that time.
Right. Okay. So generally, what kind of criminal acts actually allow police to get warrant and going into the search?
Well, all sorts of, it's usually indictable offences, but majority of the offences that the police investigate, they ordinarily, it does give them power to search. I mean, where they obtain a warrant from the magistrate's court is where somebody's under investigation and they've been watching somebody, or they've been having them under surveillance, or they've got some intelligence, so then they go to the magistrates and put their case forward. In other cases where, for example, if somebody's arrested in the street for dealing drugs, or for an assault or something of that nature, and they're taken into custody, there's a different set of powers that then apply to allow the officers to enter the premises and to search the premises.
Right. Okay. That's so one point is clear that. Anybody, they have promises, and police are coming, and they must see the warrant. Search warrant. Actually.
Even if somebody's been arrested, if a family member or associate has been arrested and they're in custody, the inspector at the police station can give another form of authority to enter the premises. That's under Section 18 of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act. Once somebody's in custody, the police can apply to ask for the custody, the inspector, and for him to authorise a warrant to go and search the premises. Again, they've got to meet the same criteria as for the Section 8 warrant, that they've got to be satisfied that they're going to recover from that property item which will assist them in the investigation. And similarly, there's another power when somebody's arrested at a certain premises. So if somebody's arrested from their home address, then that also gives the power to the police to search the premises that they're at the time of their arrest, or immediately prior to their arrest. For those, they don't need a warrant.
What did happen, if they don't find anything from the premises? They visited, and all the family is, become upset. If the warrant it has been properly granted and they do have the power to enter, then just by them searching the premises, if that has caused upset, there isn't any real recourse for anybody for that. But if they cause damage during the course of the search, then you're entitled to recover damages for any damage that they cause to the property. Like sometimes if people aren't at the home address, then
the doors are smashed or windows are smashed, or if they cannot get into suitcases or other items of like furniture which has got locks on it or doors, they sometimes break these items. If any damage is caused, then the person can make a claim to the Chief Constable of that particular area. So if it's in South Yorkshire, the Chief Constable of South Yorkshire Police send them the invoice, and they will reimburse for the costs, that any damage that has been done on the premises.
Right. Okay. So, what is the family do on this type of occasion? When police come and raid their property.
Yeah, the first thing that they need to do is they need to ensure that the warrant that the power that they've used, the power that they've exercised to enter the premises is lawful, and it satisfies all the criteria for them to have been granted that power properly. That's the first thing that you need to have a look at, and there isn't very many lawyers out there that specifically challenge that aspect of the obtaining of the warrant or thereafter the execution of it in this sort of area.
Right. Okay.
One of the key things that I think that your listeners ought to be aware of, that a lot of times what happens is that the police, they turn up at the address.
Yeah.
And they knock on the door and they say, look, can we come inside the premises? And so a lot of the times what people generally do is, because they think it's the police and they've got a power to come, they allow them entry onto the premises.
Yeah.
No police officer has any power to enter premises unless they have a warrant. Without that warrant, they're not entitled to be present at the premises.
Okay.
And that can sometimes cause difficulties where an occupier of premises gives consent to the officer or the investigator to come onto the premises, because once the officers are on the premises by consent, once they're on the premises and they then start to realise that there's some material that they want to seize, because they're lawfully on the premises and they are police officers, then that gives them the power to start seizing property and start searching the property without the need for obtaining a formal warrant from the court.
Right. Okay. So, what is the next step to be taken after the police research, and if they found something, or if they don't found something? If they found something, what will be the next?
But if they find something, then what the police will do is they will seize those items that they think are relevant to the investigation or the offence which they're investigating, and they will take them from the property. And what they must do is that they must leave the occupants of the premises a record of the search and the items that are being that are being seized. They can't just start seizing property which is irrelevant. It's got to be material that's relevant to the investigation, relevant to the offence that they're investigating. They can't just start coming in and taking any property that they want.
Okay. So can I just explain in Urdu to our listeners? सामीना मोहतरम, आज जैसा कि अमजद खान जो कि डायरेक्टर हैं खान सॉलिसिटर्स के, वो हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं, और इन्होंने आज ये बताया कि अगर आपकी प्रॉपर्टी को सर्च किया जाता है और उसके लिए पुलिस को वारंट्स जो हैं वो कोर्ट से हासिल करने पड़ते हैं, अगर वो वारंट उनके पास ना हो तो वो प्रॉपर्टी के अंदर नहीं आ सकते। और अक्सर ये होता है कि जब पुलिस आती है तो हम ये समझते हैं कि पुलिस हैव ए राइट टू कम इन, लेकिन हकीकत में जो है उनके पास ये राइट्स नहीं होते जब तक कि उनके पास वारंट ना हो। और वो वारंट जो हैं जब आप वो उनके पास होते हैं तो उसकी एक कॉपी जो है वो जो हाउस होल्ड लोग होते हैं या जो वहाँ पर रह रहे होते हैं उनको दिखाया जाता है और उसके बाद सर्च की जाती है। कई मौका पर ऐसा भी होता है कि अगर कोई भी बंदा प्रॉपर्टी के अंदर नहीं है तो उसकी वजह से प्रॉपर्टी डैमेज भी हो सकती है, दरवाजे टूट सकते हैं या इनफोर्सफुल सर्च के लिए। तो ऐसी सूरत में जो है वो जो बंदा ओन करता है उस प्रॉपर्टी को, दे कैन क्लेम टू द पुलिस, सो दे कैन हैव अ क्लेम अबाउट इट। लेकिन इस वक्त जो बात हो रही है वो सर्च के हवाले से है, और सर्च तब तक पुलिस नहीं कर सकती जब तक उनके पास वारंट ना हो. So what will be the next point you like to discuss?
One of the important factor is that a warrant that's ordinarily issued from the magistrate's court or the police, a police inspector, doesn't allow for the search and seizure of specific categories of material, and that's classed as special procedure, excluded material, or legal professional privilege material.
Okay.
So this is material where, for example, if you have at your home address any correspondence between you and your solicitor, that is afforded a special protection, and the police cannot seize that material because it's confidential material between you and your lawyer, for example.
Yeah.
Or in the same way, if you have documentation which has been created as a result of your involvement in a profession, like for example, if you are a doctor or a dentist or a pharmacist, and you have medical records at your home address which have been obtained as part of your occupation, as part of your profession, again, the Section 8 warrant or the warrant that's been issued by an inspector doesn't authorize for the seizure of that material. And similarly, if there's material, journalistic material, investigative material that you've again obtained, which falls within that category, an ordinary Section 8 warrant cannot authorise the seizure of that material. These are specific categories of material. So people that are ordinarily involved in a profession or in a business that have business records at their home addresses or at their commercial premises, a Section 8 warrant cannot authorise the seizure of that sort of material.
Most of police raids have taken place, and they take everything, from the property, whatever they think this is useful. They take everything, and due to that, the people have no computers and things like that. They have taken everything. So. Of course, they get it back if there's no evidence in those computers or laptops or iPads. But generally, they
takes a long time.
Takes a long time. Yeah.
So just going back to the point that I was discussing, in terms of those categories of material, for the police to have access to seize that material, they've got to apply for a different sort of a warrant, and for that they've got to go to a Crown Court judge and make the application to a Crown Court judge rather than going to a magistrate. That's just the difference between the sort of warrants, and therefore a lot of times what happens is that the police, because nobody challenges these, nobody takes them to task about it, the police just think they have a carte blanche and they can go and do whatever they want, and nobody questions what they're doing. So a lot of the times the warrants that the police obtain are wrong, unlawful warrants. They don't satisfy the criteria, they're the wrong warrants, and they are subject to challenge. And just going back to the point that you were discussing in terms of when police officers do come and they take business records and they take computers. I mean, sometimes we have countless times where they take the kids' laptops, and the kids have got exams and they can't get access to their documents on the computer, their revision notes, their assignments, and it causes a lot of difficulty. Again, like I explained to you that all the powers of the police are governed by the Police and Criminal Evidence Act. Everything that they're allowed to do is governed by that, and there is a specific sections in that act which deal with the retention and the return of material, which again the police have to comply with. Again, they don't do this because nobody takes them to task about it, and nobody challenges them, so they just sit on it. And routinely when solicitors ring up and ask for the material back for them on behalf of their clients, well, they'll say, well, it's an ongoing investigation, we don't have to give it back because we think that it's got evidence on it, and we've got backlogs, and we haven't got time to look at it just yet. And that causes unsurmountable difficulties to the person whose items have been seized. Again, that is also subject to challenge, and again, this is one of the areas that we do cover and we do assist our clients with, is with returning of property or having access to that property. Even if the police don't return it, they have to give you access to it so that you can copy the material and take it away, or alternatively, they can copy the material that's on a device, download it, the mobile phone or the computer, create a copy of what's on it, and give the originals back. There's specific sections of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act that deal specifically with those issues. Again, unless you challenge them, unless you take them to task about it, the police won't give you these things back.
So the client need to have a solicitor. to assist them. You know, that's the main point.
I think the main point is they need to have a solicitor, and also a solicitor who knows about who knows how to challenge the police in these areas. Because I mean, no disrespect to other people in the profession, but a lot of people they just think, even as lawyers, they think this is a routine power. They don't really challenge it. They think, well, it's the police, they're doing their job, they're doing it right, let them get on with it. But the specific safeguards that have been that have been tailored into the legislation, which give rights to people whose property has been seized to have access to have copies of it, and to order the return of that material. And then there's specific areas where we can actually take the police to court and say, look, you're not doing your jobs properly. This isn't what you're supposed to be doing. Right. We're entitled to this stuff back, and you need to give it back.
Right. Okay. We are approaching to the break, and maybe a few minutes. But if anybody have any question, you can call us on this number 01142425 and ask any question to our guest, which is Amjad Hassan, who is a director of Khan Solicitors. So he is here today, alhamdulillah, and he will be able to give you answers, whatever question you will like to ask him. And even if you are a bit shy, then you can text us on our other number, which is 07885599 and you will be get answer. You can text or WhatsApp us on this number 07885599 and you will be get answer, inshallah. Today we are talking about criminal law, particularly on the search of the property. And as I said, Amjad Hassan is here today. So keep listening Iman FM, and keep watching Iman TV online. You are wherever you are, keep listening and watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Equipping the generation towards a cohesive society. This is Iman FM.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Zaid Haq. Join me every Friday evenings, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. only on Iman FM with the latest Nasheed show, bringing you all the latest Nasheeds from all your favorite artists. Hashtag the show Iman FM NS.
In a world where accident claims are poorly managed and the referral fees paid are so low, and just when all hope is lost in the city of Sheffield, a hero emerges. A hero so powerful, one phone number is all you need. A hero named Mr. Compensator. For your referral fee of £2,000, call Mr. Compensator now on 0114 3863 386. Terms and conditions apply.
ओ दोस्ता बनी ठणी तक किथे तैयारियां नी
मैं जुलियनो जुमेरा
उदबई जा रहे
नहीं जुमेरा स्पाइस रेस्टोरेंट
उथे क्या खास है
1976 दी देसी रवायती खाने जेड़े पाकिस्तान ने जाने माने शेफ बनाने ने खाई दा वतनी याद अच्छा है लैम्ब चाप्स चिकन बोटी लीवर टिक्का चिकन काबली मेन डिशां विच देसी स्टाइल हाउस स्पेशल कढ़ाइयां ते बाल्टी डिशां अच्छी तरह खाओ या डिलीवरी करो
जुमेरा स्पाइस रेस्टोरेंट 1 The Common Actisfield Sheffield S35 9WJ 01142 467 238
मैं जा रही हूँ द बाजार में
For a great happy shopping day, visit the bazaar. You will love the new bazaar.
जहाँ पर हर तरह के नए फैशन अच्छी कीमतों के साथ खुले हैं.
Visit the bazaar at Syme Street, BD1 3RB, former Rawson Market.
Open every Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Also every Wednesday at Leeds Kirkgate Market.
The Bazaar, जहां आपको हर किस्म की चीज मिल सकती है.
The Bazaar. Ooh yeah. मेरा मेरा नाम आयशा है और मेरा ताल्लुक कश्मीर ऑर्फन्स रिलीफ ट्रस्ट मीरपुर से है कोर्ट एजुकेशनल कॉम्प्लेक्स जरीकस मेरे ख्वाबों की जन्नत जहां बेहतरीन देखभाल आला तालीम बेपनाह प्यार और मेहरबान शफकत हम सबको हासिल है अब फेज 2 में 500 बच्चों और बच्चियों के लिए रिहायशगाहें बन रही हैं और इसके लिए 9 करोड़ रुपए चाहिए मुझे यकीन है आप मायूस नहीं करेंगे
Kashmir Orphans Relief Trust 0300 123 774 court.org.uk
Iman FM on air 24/7 365. We're ready to help you promote your business to your target market from airtime campaigns to program sponsorship, social media interaction to online campaigns that'll reach your customers quickly and effectively. Call us now on 0114 242 0551 or email info@imanfm.com and let's get things happening to your business with Iman FM.
ओ दोस्ता ओ मेरी स्पीडिंग टिकट है मैं क्या करा
तू खान सोलिसिटर्स की कॉल कर उना कोल स्पेशल टीम ही जेडी रोड ट्रैफिक केसेस रेड लाइटां नो इंश्योरेंस तो किनी के इमिग्रेशन फ्रॉड मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग पर्सनल इंजरी क्लेम्स सिविल लिटिगेशन तक कत्ल दे केस भी हल करने ने ते जे तुसा समझो कि पुलिस तुसे नाल कोई ज्यादती कीती है ते ओ कंपनसेशन भी दुआने ने ओ खान चुड़ा माड़ी जान
Khan Solicitors 351 Abbeydale Road Sheffield 0114 258 3399
Locally at 103.1 on FM. Globally at imanfm.com on the internet. This is Iman FM.
जी हाँ सामीन इस वक्त आप ईमान एफएम समात फरमा रहे हैं 103.1 एफएम पे और आज हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं खान सॉलिसिटर्स के अमजद हसन साहब जो कि डायरेक्टर भी हैं और सॉलिसिटर्स भी हैं बहुत कुछ इन्होंने किया हुआ है लेकिन इस वक्त जो मेन स्पेशलिटी है इनकी वो है क्रिमिनल लॉ और आज जो है हमें बता रहे हैं कि अगर किसी की प्रॉपर्टी को सर्च वारंट के तहत पुलिस सर्च करती है तो फिर क्या होता है और सर्च जो है वो कहाँ से हासिल करते हैं और फिर उसके बाद पुलिस किस तरह एक्ट करती है लेकिन आई जस्ट लाइक टू आस्क Amjad that you know if somebody been searched of their property and the person is innocent what will happen after that and how the solicitor will help
Okay. Firstly, in terms of the criminal investigation itself, if the police have conducted their investigation and the person is not involved in any offence, then they will be released from the police station and released with what we call no further action being taken against them.
Right.
At that stage, if the investigation is completed and it's concluded, then any material that's been seized as part of that investigation ought to be ordinarily returned as well at the time of that person being released from the police station or released from the investigation.
Right.
So that's in respect of the arrest itself. But what I was hoping to concentrate on was really the concept of the search itself and what happens when the police officers have got that aspect of the investigation wrong. What can we? How can we assist you and how can we challenge that aspect of it?
Right,
okay, so like I explained at the outset, first of all, the police have got to satisfy certain criteria, and it's not just the police; it's the HMRC, or it may be the Inland Revenue, or it may be the Customs and Excise. These sort of people can also get warrants as well in order for them to enter your premises to search as part of an investigation.
Right.
So, like I explained to you, they've got to first of all satisfy certain criteria for them to enter. If they fail in satisfying that criteria, and they don't satisfy the test that's been laid down in the legislation, then we can assist you in challenging that process and what they're doing as part of their investigation.
Okay.
So if they come to the home address and they purport to have a warrant which authorises them to search the premises, you can't stop them at that stage because on the face of it they have got lawful authority to enter.
Yeah.
You ought to let them continue their search, let them seize whatever they seek to seize, and immediately once they've left the premises and once you've got a copy of the warrant, you need to show it to a lawyer who does know this area of law and who can assist you, and we can then assist you in advising you as to whether that power is challengeable. And if that warrant is subject to challenge, we can immediately apply for an injunction to the High Court, stopping the police or the other investigative body doing whatever it is that they're doing, stopping them dead in their tracks, to say, look, they've got this wrong, we're challenging what you've done, and you ought to stop immediately, because there is damage that has been caused to our clients as a result of the continued unlawful act that they're committing. Because what we will be saying is that the act that the police are carrying out is unlawful, that what they did amounts to trespass.
Right, okay. So injection can take place by a solicitor to apply to the court.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I have dealt with quite extensively, and on a number of occasions we have obtained injunctions against agencies such as the HMRC, agencies such as the National Crime Agency, West Yorkshire Police, Greater Manchester Police, and other police forces as well. In order to get that injunction, we have to show we have to issue proceedings against the relevant police force. So if it's, for example, if it happened in South Yorkshire, it would be the Chief Constable of South Yorkshire Police, and we would apply to a High Court judge either in Leeds or in London. The nearest High Court to Sheffield falls in Leeds, so therefore ordinarily if something happened in South Yorkshire, we would issue in the High Court at Leeds, and we would apply for an urgent injunction within 48 hours before a High Court judge to stop, give an order that the investigative bodies cannot continue to do what they're doing until the claim that we are making against them has been settled. So that in essence it stops them in their tracks from doing whatever it is that they're doing.
Right. Okay.
And also, as part of that process, what we have to first of all issue a claim form against the police force that we're challenging, or the investigative body that we're challenging. And as part of our claim that we make on behalf of our clients, it is for a declaration that the act that they did was an unlawful act. And if it's declared unlawful and they concede that it's an unlawful act, we ask for the return of all the material that's been seized. We also ask for damages for trespass. So like I explained to you before, private residential premises or commercial premises, the police do not have power to enter. If they enter unlawfully, it is trespass. And if a warrant that they seek to purport to have, which is lawful, is declared unlawful, then subsequently their entry and search is unlawful, and it constitutes trespass. And for trespass, we are able to gain specific damages just in respect of that, and also to recover the costs on behalf of our client for the legal costs that they have incurred as a result of the unlawful act of the investigative agencies.
Right. Okay. So this can happen. You know that the people who are under investigation, they are allowed to have this type of injection, and then they can be released on these points.
That's right, yeah. I mean, the two separate sort of procedures. One is the investigation that's been carried out by the police.
Yeah.
So that's the police taking action against you, if you like, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
So that's the police where they are investigating somebody, they are taking an action against that individual.
Yeah.
They've searched the premises, they've taken property, they've taken them into custody, they've questioned them, they've released them on police bail. That's their side of one thing.
Okay.
And on the other side, what you can do, what can you do if that happens to you? How can you challenge what the police are doing? How can you, before it goes to a court process where they've actually charged you with an offence, before that happens, whilst you're still at an investigative stage, what can you do in order to challenge what the police are doing? And this is one of the mechanisms that you can challenge what the police are doing to you and call them into question. Right. At the moment, what it seems to be is that the police are questioning you. Well, this is a process whereby you can question the manner in which the police are conducting the investigation. How truthful have they been in making an application to the court to obtain a warrant, which is an ex parte application, to enter your premises, to search your premises, to search your private space, to enter your family's address and go through your personal belongings. Are they doing things lawfully?
Right. Okay. So what is the assist from the solicitor, to those type of cases? What kind of assistance they can get.
So our assistance, so if somebody came to us and wanting advice on this aspect, the first thing we would do is have a look at the warrant itself to see whether it is subject to challenge, and then advise the client whether there are grounds to challenge or not, and then advise them if they want to issue proceedings. The only way that we can take them to task is by challenging what they're doing, and that is ordinarily first done by a pre-action letter to the relevant force solicitors, telling them what our claim is and why we say that what the police force has done is unlawful, and ask them at that stage to stop what they're doing and to give us an undertaking that they're going to stop until they respond to our letter of claim. And in the event that they don't respond to the letter of claim, or they don't give us the undertaking that we seek for them to stop examining the material, then we would then consider issuing the proceedings against the police force, and that is where we would assist our client to say these are the grounds upon which we seek to challenge the lawfulness of the acts committed by the relevant investigative agency, and assist them in obtaining that injunction from the High Court, and then getting them damages for the acts of the police and getting their property back for them.
Right. Okay. What other the relevant law is available there if the search warrant has been taken and then search been taking place, and what other laws coming into it, regarding the search?
The search, you mean in terms of the search procedure itself?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, when the search has been carried out, any persons that are present at the premises, they're entitled to be present at the premises so they can observe what the police are doing, which areas of the property they're looking into, what items they're taking, and they're entitled to request a copy of the search warrant, and that a copy of that warrant should be left on the premises when they leave. They should fill in forms, which are the seizure forms, which list all the property that's been taken, who it's been, which officer has seized that property, what time it's been seized, what location it's been seized from, and the description of the property that's been seized. This is a record that must be left for the occupier so that they know what has taken place when the police have been there, and what items have been seized.
What apart from this, what the police have power to do searches, like cars stop and search and other properties been searching.
Yeah.
So what kind of powers police have regarding this?
Regarding that, in terms of the stop and search, the police officers have got to have reasonable belief that they are going to find something of relevance or some evidence, or they believe that, or they suspect that an individual is involved in an offence. That is the only ground under which they can stop and search an individual. If they have reasonable grounds, they've got to satisfy the criteria, and the criteria is also similar to a person being arrested, that they've got to have reasonable grounds to believe that a person has committed an offence, and it's under those grounds that they've got to they have the power to stop and search anybody. And again, there's certain provisions that relate specifically to the search of individuals, which will be covered at a later stage. But there's specific procedures and policies that the police have got to comply with. They can't just stop and search anybody. They've got to satisfy certain criteria in order to do that, unless the special arrangements apply where they don't have to have a reason, where there's a specific temporary order in place in a specific location for a specific period of time to say whether for example, if there's likelihood that there's going to be a disturbance, a public order offence, where there's like a march taking place, there is specific powers given to them just for those sort of occasions, that they can just stop and search anybody without having the reasonable suspicion because of a particular event that's taking place.
Right, okay. सामीन मोहतरम, आपको मैं एक बार फिर याद दिलाता चलूँ कि आज क्रिमिनल लॉ के हवाले से सर्च के हवाले से प्रॉपर्टी सर्च और कार सर्च और एनी बिजनेस सर्च के हवाले से बातचीत हो रही है, और ये सर्च जो है पुलिस की तरफ से होती है, लेकिन पुलिस को एक वैलिड वारंट जो है वो कोर्ट से हासिल करना पड़ता है, फिर जाके वो सर्च करते हैं। इसी हवाले से आज खान सॉलिसिटर से अमजद हसन जो हैं वो यहाँ मौजूद हैं, वो डायरेक्टर हैं खान सॉलिसिटर्स के, और वो हमें बता रहे हैं कि क्या होता है जब सर्च होती है। तो आपके ज़हन में अगर कोई सवाल हो तो आप पूछ सकते हैं और उसके लिए नंबर ये है 01142425 सर्च जो है it can take place to anybody regardless के you know if somebody have done something wrong for example you know break the traffic lights and go through the red traffic lights so police can stop that person and search.
They can't. If you've gone through red traffic light, the police can't stop and search you for that.
Right,
It doesn't give them the power. That's a separate offence which doesn't require the search of either you or the premises. Going through red traffic light is not an arrestable offence. They can't arrest you for going through red lights, so they can't search you for something like that.
Right,
but once for example, if the police officer pulls you over after you've gone through red lights and then he approaches your car, and then there's a strong smell of cannabis, for example. Thereafter, when the officer's there at the side of the road and he smells this cannabis, and then he therefore then satisfies the criteria that he has a reasonable belief that an offence has been committed, and he may find some items which indicate that an offence has been committed. That then gives him the power to search under the Misuse of Drugs Act, to search the car to say, well, I've got reasonable suspicion that I'm going to find something that's of a criminal nature and that's relevant to an investigation, and therefore that's a different sort of situation.
Okay,
so just for going through red light, it doesn't give the police the power. No.
Okay, that's fine. So basically I'm trying to ask you a question that how when and where police can actually take search.
Right, so again, if you're arrested for an offence, it gives the police power to search you. To the extent that to see if they can find any relevant evidence from you, and if you've been taken into custody, to ensure that you haven't got any items on you that could harm either you or others, or help you escape lawful custody. So once you're under arrest, it does give the power to the police to search you at that stage. But they can't like strip search you or anything like that. It's just outer clothing, and then a more thorough search usually takes place once you get to the police station. Then a more thorough search will take place in the custody suite when there's the recording devices and the cameras there, and to ensure that nothing improper happens.
We did learn last week that one of your colleague came and they told us, once somebody actually arrested in the police station, and how they can get connected to the solicitor. There are a duty solicitor, or you can call your own solicitor. So in these cases, like search and stop, and if any property been searched, how they can actually approach to a solicitor? How do they get any facility at the police station?
Okay. Ordinarily, if a search is taking place, it's a criminal offence. Some criminal offence that's been investigated, and ordinarily somebody would have been arrested. If somebody is arrested, every person at the moment in the United Kingdom, if they're arrested and taken to a police station, they have a right to instruct a solicitor, either a solicitor of their choice, and if they don't have a solicitor of their choice, then a solicitor under the duty solicitor scheme. The solicitor's service is provided to everybody at the police station at the moment, free of charge. So there's no charge to that individual unless they want to pay a specific solicitor to come. But ordinarily, the solicitors that attend the police stations, they're paid by the legal aid agency. The government, in essence, pays the solicitors that attend the police station. And every person that is in custody has a right to have a solicitor. So that right, when the person is being booked into the custody suite and they are given their rights, the process of being booked in, the custody sergeant goes through all their rights whilst they're at the police station, and one of those rights is to have somebody informed of their arrest. A second is to consult the codes of practice, which is the powers that govern the manner in which the police conduct themselves and the powers that they have, and the third right is for them to have a solicitor either of their choice appointed, or a solicitor from the duty solicitor scheme.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So that deals with that person that's in custody. In terms of the search and the warrant and challenging that is a separate matter which you can get advice from. But unfortunately, that area is not covered by legal aid, and that is something that you would have to pay the solicitors for, or the lawyers that you instruct on a private basis.
Right. Okay. So they are allowed to have a private solicitor in there
at the police station. Yeah, everybody that's in the police station, anywhere in the United Kingdom, once they're in the police station, once they're in the custody suite, one of the rights that they have, and it's free of charge, is to have a solicitor.
What supposed to do, you know, when if there's somebody arrested, and what supposed to they can give a statement to the police, or they can wait for a solicitor to come?
No, if the person, I mean, it's important that the listeners know that if they are ever in the unfortunate situation that they are arrested and they are taken into the police station, they have a fundamental right to instruct a solicitor, a solicitor of their choice. So, if, for example, let's just say if you know the firm that I represent, if you went to the police station, you ask for Khan solicitors, they have us on their system. They will have a 24 hours emergency number, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, that is on, and the police can contact us immediately and tell us that so and so person is at this police station, he's requested your services, can you make contact with the police station or make contact with him? And what would then happen is that we would then ring the police station, and we would get the details of the person that is in custody, their personal details, this offence for which they're under arrest, get some brief information, and then speak to the person initially over the phone, give them initial advice over the phone in terms of their rights and their entitlements. And then what happens then is that when the police want to speak to them, they have to first of all notify us that we want to speak to your client who's in custody now, and then we will then attend the police station, and prior to any interview taking place, the police give us what we call disclosure. They give us information about the offence that the person is under arrest for, give us the evidence that they have, the investigation that's been conducted, how that client, that individual is linked to this offence, the circumstances of their arrest. We would then speak to our client in private consultation, so that's just between us and the client, and then advise him of what the evidence is against him or her, and advise them what the law is and what their rights are whilst they're at the police station. I mean, one of the fundamental rights that anybody that is in custody is that if they don't want to speak to the police, they don't have to do so. That's their right, that's their entitlement. The police can't force them to speak to them. That's a right in this country. It's a right not to self-incriminate yourself, a right to silence, which is the first part of the caution that is administered to any person when they are arrested and prior to them being questioned.
Okay, that's fine. What kind of advice you give it to the public that if any incident take place, so what they're supposed to do?
I think if anything of this nature occurs, they should always have in mind a solicitor. I mean, we are there to assist you and to help you. We carry out a service just like a doctor does. If you have any ailments or symptoms, you go to a doctor to seek his advice and seek his assistance, and in order to get better. In the same manner, we're here to provide that service to people that are in difficult situations, that don't know the law, that don't know the way around things, and for us, to a specialist firm such as ourselves that specialise in this area and criminal defence, to help people and get them the right service and the right advice to help them in the difficult situations. Because ordinarily, when people do find themselves in those difficult situations, it's very difficult for them to think straight as to what they should or should not do. And it's really we're providing a service to assist these people in these difficult situations where they can't navigate properly, and we're there with the specialism and the expertise to assist the people in those circumstances to get the best possible outcome for them.
Within our community, you know, the people see police siren or police coming to their property or their house, they get scared.
Yeah.
So you know, what they're supposed to do, you know, when something happens to them.
Yeah. The most important thing is that they need to know what their rights are.
Yeah.
What their rights are as citizens, what their rights are in terms of the law, and also to know what the police powers are. What can the police actually do?
Yeah.
I mean, like I explained to you at the start, a lot of people, as soon as they see the police on the door, they invite them inside the house. I mean, that is a fundamental, mistake that a lot of people make, because once the police are on your property, they don't need any warrants or anything like that. They're lawfully on your premises because you've invited them. And once they're on your premises, if they want to start searching the premises because they think that they may recover something, they're entitled to do that.
Right.
So really, a key point is for people to know what their rights are, to be aware of what their rights are, and know what the powers of the police are. And just one other thing that I'd like to mention is that another problem is that what your listeners ought to be aware of is that if a family member or somebody that they know is arrested and they're taken into custody, and this is a person that probably doesn't know of any solicitor, doesn't know of any decent lawyers, and they need that help, that person who has that concern for that individual that is in custody can also contact us and say, look, our family member, our brother, sister, mother, whatever it is, our associate, our friend has been arrested. This is where they were arrested from. Can you contact the police and find out what's going on? And in those circumstances, we can contact the police station and say to them that, look, we have been instructed by such and such a person. Is this person in custody? Do they want a solicitor? And we can be appointed as their solicitor through that means as well.
Okay.
And that's, I think, very important that your listeners are aware of that as well.
Yes, I think it's very important for everybody to have in mind that they can get assistance from a solicitor instead of turning up to the police station and asking where is the person or what have you done with him. So it's a proper procedure is going through the solicitor company.
But you see, ordinarily, if you do that, I mean, it happens a lot of the times as well, where family members do turn up at the police station and they maybe sat outside waiting 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 hours. We've had circumstances recently where a suspect's family were outside the police station for in excess of 12 hours, but the police just won't interact with them because they're family members and they're at the police station. They'll just say to them, well, they're in custody, there's nothing more that we can tell you, and that's it. But once you instruct a solicitor, we are able to put a bit more pressure on them and to find out what's going on and to ensure that what they're doing is proper and is lawful. And again, when somebody's in custody, the police don't have the power to just arrest somebody, put them in a cell and just leave them. They've got to continuously review the necessity for that person to remain in custody. They've got to the custody sergeant's got to be satisfied that the officers that are dealing with the investigation are dealing with it diligently and expeditiously, and they're doing something. They're not just sat upstairs drinking coffee while somebody sat downstairs in the cell. The law says that they can't do that. Once somebody's in custody, their priority, they've got to be moving on with the investigation in order to get that person out of custody as soon as possible. Ordinarily, the maximum time they can keep somebody in custody is 24 hours, and then there's extensions that they can apply for, but that we'll discuss some later show. I think we're running out of time as well.
Thank you very much for coming.
No problem.
Amjad, Hassan, it's really nice to have you and your colleagues coming to give information about the law, which is very important for our community to learn about the law. Thank you once again, and सामीन मोहतरम इसी के साथ इजाज़त चाहते हैं. अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू.
Online at www.imanfm.com and on